love and good communication. She's the author of the acclaimed book, Parenting a House United, as well as many other self-government books and articles. And in 2009, her family was featured on the British documentary, The World's Strictest Parents. And since then, she's been asked to travel the world to teach her calm parenting and relationship communication principles, a variety of education. In fact, she's been to China and Britain doing this, as a matter of fact, and also to family and religious groups, as well as to business and organizations. Nicholeen Peck.
I'm gonna make sure I don't tread on my springy shoes. All right, back in 2009, I got an email from the BBC in England, and they asked me if I would be on a television show called The World's Strictest Parents. And I didn't know whether I should be offended or whether I should be like congratulated or something like that. I wasn't really sure at first. So what they did is they brought me two troubled 17-year-olds from Britain, a boy and a girl named James and Hannah. And our house was so calm, it was driving them crazy. At one point, both James and Hannah said to me, "Calm, calm, calm. You're always so calm. It makes me so mad that you're so calm." Suggesting that possibly, should I lose control, that they would then choose to be calm. I'm trying to get you a picture, but it might not work. Well, I don't know. I don't even know. Okay. Anyway, we're gonna give up on that. So, after 2 days, and I always said the same thing, I always said, "It seems to me you want to tell me something. I would like to know what that is. But we need to choose to be calm first, and then we can talk about it." This is what inspired them to make their calm, calm, calm argument to me. The next day, though, James and Hannah were completely different. They weren't angry anymore. They had no more tantrums. All of a sudden, they were following instructions, saying okay and being okay. And I asked Hannah, I said, "Hannah, for 2 days you had tantrums, you ran away, you were angry. Why after 2 days, all of a sudden, are you okay and happy?" And she said something that parents everywhere should take special note of. She said, "Well, at my house, if I yell, I get my way, or at least somebody yells back. But here, you were just so calm, it didn't work. So I just chose to be calm too." Wow, that's pretty good, huh? Yeah, I thought that was pretty good. Okay, now I'm ready for my little list that you guys had up there on the screen. There you go, there should be 5 of them, just do all 5. Lessons learned from Hannah. Okay, so that one statement teaches us 5 different things. Number 1, if parents engage in power struggles with children, it shows the children that they're powerful. It encourages the children to power struggle more. Number 2, if parents stay calm and govern themselves, then the children choose to be calm too. There's a class I'm giving tomorrow called The Power of Calm, where I talk about how to be calm, how to calm somebody else down when they're having a hard time, and not having to be louder than them to do it. Lesson number 3 that Hannah taught is keeping a consistent tone. So my tone was always, "It seems to me that you want to tell me something. I would like to know what that is." So keeping this nice calm tone in the home and trusting as part of the tone that she was good and that she really did want to choose good. Also keeping a consistent structure changes the hearts of children so that they willingly follow their parents. Lesson number 4, changing someone's heart cannot be forced. It is a choice to have a change of heart. So, you have to have a principled environment to invite that choice. That is the key to encouraging that kind of behavior. Lesson number 5, she also showed that anger or sadness can't come from someone else. You can't blame somebody else for why you're mad that day. It's up to you. You see, I think for the longest time she's blamed her problems on her mom or the anger or whatever was happening at the time. But when we were only calm, she got the opportunity to analyze herself and see that it was really only her that was choosing this. And so if she wanted something different, she was going to have to make a different choice. So, if you've seen the show, The World's Strictest Parents, you will see at the end of the show, and you can watch it on my website, which is teachingselfgovernment.com. And you click the video tab. If you watch that on there, you will see that by the end of the program, James and Hannah are bawling. Our whole family is bawling because they don't want to go. In fact, what you don't hear on the program is the words that happened right before all of that crying, where they looked at us and hugged us and said, "Please, don't make us go. We feel so safe here. People won't understand when we get back home why we want to make these changes in our lives." What? The world's strictest family is also the world's safest family? Strict's an interesting word. It actually means governing yourself by a certain set of principles. It doesn't mean getting ornery. We have semantically changed that over the years. The definition of self-government, which is what I usually teach, is being able to determine the cause and effect of any given situation and possessing a knowledge of your own behaviors so that you can control them. So, listening to that definition, where does self-government come from? One of my favorite heroes and mentors is C.S. Lewis. He wrote a book called The Abolition of Man. In that book, he wrote a chapter called Men Without Chests. And he said that man was in danger of being abolished. This was a long time ago, just so you know, because men had no chests, or they were losing their chests. What he meant by chest was heart, or some people might say spirit. He says that we are made up of three different parts. We are made up of a body, which is our emotions, our feelings, our desires, our cravings, all of those things. And then we have a brain, which does all of our logic for us. And then we have a chest, or a heart. And that heart is where our will is rooted. It is the strongest part of who we are. Let's do a little test and see how good you are at following your heart. So in the morning, when you're laying there and it's getting to be early morning and you hear beep, 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 what do? Do you push snooze? That might be the body talking. And that's when you start rationalizing, oh, I was up so much, I need a little bit extra sleep, whatever it is. Do you yell to your kids because nothing else works? Is that why you yell at them? Do you eat chocolate because you're depressed every night? Why do we do these things? Is it from our heart or from our bodies? Who is truly ruling us? C.S. Lewis says we are only free if our hearts rule us. Freedom and happiness come with a price. When I was 14 years old, I learned this price. Me and my parents did not get along. In fact, it's quite ironic, really, that I'm the self-government lady, because I did not have it. I gave them probably almost every gray hair that they had, poor people. I think they were on their knees, more than they were not, hoping that I would be okay. Well, we didn't get along and they never let me do anything I wanted. I was pretty much on lockdown at one point. And I happened to be talking with a neighbor of mine who was a very wise woman, and she said to me, "Nicholeen, have you ever just thought of saying okay?" And I was like, what? That would never work. That's what they want me to say. And she said, I'll tell you what. For 2 weeks, you go home and you say okay. When they tell you no, you say okay. When they tell you to do something, you say okay, and see what happens. See if you are not more free. Well, I went home that night. It was my dish night. You know, the worst chores in the house. Anyway, and my parents said, "Nicholeen, it's your dish night." And I said, okay. And I stood up and I started doing the dishes. And all of a sudden, my mom and my dad were like, "Oh, what did you do? What happened?" They were absolutely shocked that their daughter, who never says okay, I think they probably thought I got abducted or something by aliens. Anyway, so sure enough, my wise neighbor was right. In no time at all, I would say, "Can I do this?" And they'd say, "Sure." "Can I have friends over for this?" And they'd say, "Sure." I got what I wanted. I was at a selfish place at that point, but I realized something important, something I share with children all the time. I always say, did you know you have all the power? It's yours. I realized that. I'm like, I have the power for all of my Happiness, anything I want, is totally just up to me. That was an amazing revelation to get. Not only did I get freedom to do whatever I want, I was free to love them. I was free to communicate, to connect, to bond. Those were things I'd gotten rid of. I'd put up walls. I'd given up on those kinds of things, and I really did want them. Yes, happiness comes with a price. Freedom comes with a price. Isn't that what we want for our families? We really do. Changing hearts is environmental. It requires a certain kind of a tone, a certain kind of a structure, a vision of what you want for yourself and for your family. It's not just for parenting self-government, it's for everyone. And it also requires knowing skills, such as knowing how to follow instructions, knowing how to accept no answers and criticism, knowing how to accept consequences, and how to disagree appropriately. If you don't know those things, please let me help you learn them, so that your family can stop arguing. So many people are in emotional bondage in their families. They are not free. When I went to England for a whole month this last September, I saw people in the pit of despair. They saw my children stand up and teach adult audiences how to accept no answers and how to correct their children. They were dumbfounded that a child could have a skill mastered. We are not far behind them. We must free our family. Our young people have targets painted on their hearts and on their minds. They are literally under attack. How can we keep them safe? By endowing them with the power of self-government. Benjamin Franklin, one of my heroes, made a list of 13 things he didn't like about himself. For years he worked on those things and conquered them. After he conquered those 13 things, he was a sage of wisdom and a leader for the whole world. Our children can conquer themselves too, and so can we. It takes work. It's not a quick fix. It's a life change, but it's an invitation to freedom. Self-government is the key to freeing our families. No nation, no government can make you free. No city council. You have to make yourself free. My standard is the standard of family. In family, that is the cottage, the place where self-government should be.